All right. Hello, hello, hello. You guys come on in. Hey, Harlem. Come on in. Share it out. We got a lot to talk about. As you come in, don't forget to hit the like button. It keeps us in the algorithm. It's a free way to support the channel. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Um, it was kind of moving crazy, but kind of slow. But anyway, welcome in. We're going to give people time to get in so we can have this conversation. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hold on. I got to go grab something really quick. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. As you come in, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. Also, subscribe to the channel. Okay, I'm back. Harlem, like, I have so many emotions about this because, right, today's Juneteenth. You drop all this information. Like, why is it just now? Like, how come you couldn't have dropped it another time? But everybody want to say, make sure we're staying away from the racial. Let's not make this a racial divide. But that, I mean, but everything points to it being racially motivated. Everything points to this man was not given a fair trial. Everything. Let me wait and let people get in. Let people get in. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that up there really for a minute. I know YouTube is just slow getting people in, so we'll give a few minutes because we'll be here for a while. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so it's been a minute since we actually came live. But the shorts are doing really well. Harlem, you see my shorts? Doing really well. I'm like, whoa, why is it that I can get my shorts in the loop? I got to get my lives in the loop. But we are at 10.5K, so we're headed to 11K real soon, real soon. You Can we get it? Okay, y'all, just a minute. My apologies. I apologize for that. All right. Come on, you guys. Come on in. Let's talk about this. Oh, I need to let Wright know. He may not know I'm live. Love you. Be careful. All right. I want to go ahead and get started. We can start on, let's get the RKelly thing out the way before people actually start coming in, so we can talk about that. I really just want people to come in ahead of time. Yeah, they're doing really good. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna take that one thing, and I'm just gonna keep out here. We just keep pressing. All right, so I don't know if I should just jump into Karmelo or should I do the RKelly stuff first? Because Karmelo is going to take the longest. Let me share it out to some more people as well. All right. Let's get this. So Harlem, tell me, do you think I should do RKelly and just get that out the way? Because Karmelo's a lot, because even the Charleston White thing is dang, we got Daphne Joy, we got the RKelly stuff. We got screenshot. Oh, we got stuff. Okay. Let me forward this. Okay. Okay. All right, we getting it together, y'all. Bear with us. Get it together. So what you think, Harlem? Like, go ahead and do the RKelly stuff. I mean, I don't know. This is not. I probably should have went live straight through YouTube, but I am on YouTube, the YouTube app. I'm straight through there. But maybe I should have went a different way. I don't get it. Do I back out and just go straight into YouTube from not use StreamYard? I don't know. It's always an issue. I don't know. We're just gonna talk about it. So I'm going to jump into RKelly. We're going to get started. And if it's the replay for you, just, if you will, put in the chat hashtag replay. Give us your comments on what you think this about all of the commentary that we're going to share tonight. We're going to share quite a bit of content. So, no glasses in here. So anyway, obviously, R. Kelly put in a request to have a retrial. He actually got his response back from the government. So we just wanted to share this. We don't do a lot of R. Kelly content, but when things like this come up, we do like to share it. So we're going to jump in and talk about R. Kelly. And then we'll move on to Karmelo, because there's a lot there with Karmelo. So thank you, Harlan, for this document. I appreciate you so much. All right, so United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. Defendant's response to the government's supplemental brief regard. Wait a minute, defendant's response. Hold on. There was 2 attachments, so I want to do, let me see, what's this one? Okay, so we got the government's response, and then we got R. Kelly's side of the side of the fence. And I think I want to remove that one and put this one up first. Share screen. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about it. So anyway, this right here, R. Kelly, as I said, thank you guys for being here. R. Kelly, we're going to talk about him really quick, and then we're going to get into Karmelo. R. Kelly filed for a retrial. And so the government has responded, and then we will read what R. Kelly defendant side had responded as well. So for R. Kelly's government response, United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly. Government's response to defendant's supplemental brief on structural error. Defendant's motion for a new trial should be summarily denied without an evidentiary hearing. So they've denied his request for a retrial. So, and here's the reasons why. The defendant has not and cannot support his claim that the government committed structural error by intruding into his relationship with his attorney. Defendant has failed to meet the burden of establishing both government intrusion and actual prejudice as it required to establish a Sixth Amendment violation. His latest request for an evidentiary hearing to determine whether the government obtained information relating to trial preparation or strategy lays bare and lack of any support for defendant's conclusory allegations. His motion should be denied. So pretty much, basically, they're denying his motion for a retrial after defendant belatedly asserted that his allegations of government intrusion into his attorney-client communications constituted structural error. The court ordered the parties to provide case citations relevant to any structural error argument made by the defendant. Defendant's submission fails to do that. Glaringly, defendant provides no case support for his claim that the use of a jailhouse informant to obtain attorney-client communications discussing trial preparations or strategies satisfies the criteria for structural error. Defendant concedes the Supreme Court in Weatherford versus Bursey required a showing of actual prejudice to establish that the government's interference with the defendant's attorney-client relationship violated the Sixth Amendment. He goes on, however, to suggest that the conduct he alleges here, purposeful purposeful governmental intrusion into the attorney-client relationship may be considered structural error requiring no showing of prejudice on the ground that prejudice flowing from such conduct would be difficult to identify or quantify. His argument is flawed because he has offered no evidence to support his claims, and the cases he cites to support the argument do not address the issue of structural error or involving distinguishable facts. To begin, defendant's argument rests on the wholly unsupported assertion that prosecutors here intruded on his attorney-client relationship with purposefully obtaining communications between defendant and his lawyer related to a trial preparation and strategy. Indeed, defendant has offered no evidence indicating that the prosecutors received any attorney-client communications of his, much less that those communications related to trial strategy that could be and was used to the government's advantage and the defendant's detriment at trial. To the contrary, defendant expressly requested that the court grant him a hearing to allow him to find out whether any of the claimed facts occurred. Defendant has failed to meet his burden to provide any evidence to support these allegations. The cases defendant cites to establish that his claims involve structural error do not address that issue or are otherwise distinguishable and misconstrued by defendant. For example, defendant cited United States versus Diston to suggest that disclosure of defense strategy required reversal and an evidentiary hearing to determine what information was given to the prosecution. This is not accurate. The Diston and his co-defendant Camp were convicted of engaging in a fraud scheme. After his conviction was upheld on direct appeal, Diston moved for a new trial based on a newly discovered evidence that Camp was serving as a government informant at the time of their joint trial. So no, that doesn't match what he's asking for. In his motion, defendant identified specific evidence to support his allegations, namely court testimony by both Camp and government agents in other cases, which indicated Camp's status as a government informer in unrelated cases, and tape recordings made by Camp of telephone conversations between Camp and his trial attorney in the Diston case, which Camp turned over to the government. So he actually did turn over to government and they were able to prove it. And they're saying otherwise, RKelly's not able to prove any of what he's requesting. So at 1100, in other words, Camp produced evidence showing that his co-defendant acted as a government informant and that in the role, Camp provided the government prior Camp's joint trial with Diston communications with his own attorney, which defendant argued may have included information regarding Diston's trial strategy. Unlike here, the defendant in Diston provided actual evidence in support of the motion sufficient to label Camp a government informant and set forth specific evidence that recordings between Camp and his trial attorney were provided to the government, noting post-trial ascertainment that the recorded messages were those of a government informer. In contrast, here, defendant filed to provide more than speculative, unsupported claims that Majugamidi, I don't know his name, was even a government informant. Second, Diston specifically requested this recording pre-trial, which the Seventh Circuit noted changed the standard of materiality for the government's non-disclosure. Importantly, the Seventh Circuit's remand for an evidentiary hearing was limited to the purpose of determining whether the withheld material, the tape recordings, was material to distance guilt or punishment, or whether it was withheld in bad faith. Defendants' reliance on United States versus whoever that is in 1979 is likewise misplaced. Defendant cites that this guy passing citations to a 1951 DC Circuit Court case that applied to per se rule to vacate a conviction if the government intercepted attorney-client communication. But in this case, in the Balasteri case, the Seventh Circuit rejected such a per se rule and instead found a new trial was not warranted because even if the attorney-client privilege attached to the conversation at issue, the intrusion did not deny defendant the effective assistance of counsel at his criminal trial, and therefore defendant was not prejudiced. In sum, contrary to defendant's contention, Supreme Court and Seventh Circuit precedent hold that to establish a constitutional error warranting reversal, a defendant must show actual prejudice from a disclosure of confidential information. How? Oh, 9 pages. Okay, that's not bad. The constitutionality of the conviction depends on whether the overheard conversations have produced directly or indirectly any of the evidence offered at trial. United States versus Morrison, 449 U.S. 361, requiring some threat of an adverse effect upon the effectiveness of a counsel's representation or some other prejudice to defense for a Sixth Amendment claim. See also United States versus Castor. Here, defendant has not shown that confidential information was actually disclosed, much less that he suffered prejudice as a result. Defendant also cites United States versus Levy, but it too has no application to this case. In Levy, it was undisputed that federal agents knowingly sought and received information from a confidential informant who was represented by the same attorney as defendant. The trial circuit found the defense strategy was actually disclosed, and the government informant officials sought such confidential information. By comparison, defendant has offered no evidence showing that the government prosecutors received confidential information related to defendant's trial strategy, much less that they sought it. In a single line, defendant asserts for the first time the government intrusion in the attorney-client relationship has due process implications under the Fifth Amendment. This argument is waived, holding that unsupported claims, including claims raising constitutional issues, are waived. See also United States versus Irvin. The Rule 33 movement bears that responsibility of developing his argument and presenting the court with adequate grounds and authority to grant the relief requested. In any event, it is without merit because as detailed below, defendant has failed to make any allegations that the government made use of any privileged documents at trial. See United States versus White. Amendment violations, there must first be a finding that the government procured or was otherwise complicit in a violation of the attorney-client privilege, and only then should the court assess whether the violation resulted in the introduction of evidence sufficiently material and adverse to defendant to deny him the Fifth Amendment procedural rights. Defendant is not entitled to an evidentiary hearing to determine whether the government sought or received privileged communication information, as he demands This is plainly a fishing expedition. Vague, conclusory allegations that are insufficient to warrant a hearing. There is no abuse of discretion in this refusal of an evidentiary hearing or the matter because defendant has identified no information about defendant that was passed to the government. The court should deny defendant's request for any evidentiary hearing. For all the foregoing reasons, the government respectfully requests that the court deny defendant's motion for a new trial without an evidentiary hearing. So pretty much what this is saying is that RKelly actually requested to have a retrial because he felt that there was like some type of informant or somebody that got a hold of information that was shared to the government, and it was kind of like used against him according to RKelly and his camp. However, what the government is saying that while you're saying this, RKelly, you have not given us sufficient evidence to show that any information was gave to the government that made them treat you unfairly or differently. And all of the case laws that you shared in this request had nothing to do with what you're requesting. These were actually government informants that were actually found to be informants and found to have shared their information. And that's why they were able to maybe get a retrial or whatever. And in this case, they're saying RKelly did not provide sufficient evidence. So therefore, they have denied RKelly's request for a retrial. That's the government's response to RKelly's request. So when we look at, RKelly obviously got the response, and let's take a minute. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. We had a little event tonight, which was tiring, but we had fun, took the kids. Like, it was so many people there. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Before we get into RKelly's request. So basically, RKelly got the government's response, and now the defense have responded. So we will, hey, Bridget, didn't know you was here. That was you. I thought that was Harlem. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's go to RKelly's response to the government. Share screen. Oh, we got to pull it up. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and share this one. All right. All right, so pretty much we're going to share real quick what RKelly's response was, defendant's response to the government. So it says the government's brief regarding structural error does little more than leverage to the parties unequal access to information in an attempt to sanctify its improper use of a jailhouse informant to obtain information from Mr. Kelly, including attorney-client communication. Because Mr. Kelly cannot identify which specific documents the government covertly obtained, though Mr. Majugumbi, whatever his name is, Mr. M, or what specific information was conveyed, the argument goes, the court should look no further at the constitutional violations that occurred in the prosecution for Mr. Kelly. The problem with the government's argument is that it is alone that it alone has access to this information, not Mr. Kelly. Mr. M sworn declaration indicates that he stole legal documents from Mr. Kelly and provided them to the government. Mr. M indicated that he communicated directly with a prosecutor. The government has offered no sworn statement denying that fact, but submits to the court that there is nothing to see here because the documents and information that was stolen by Mr. M and provided to the government are not specifically identified. The government ignores the fact that Mr. M was stealing these documents as part of his cooperation with the government. Another problem that so Mr. M is the informant. So that's why they brought those case laws. Okay, I get it now. Another problem that arises from the government is that English is not Mr. M's native language. Indeed, his sentencing has been delayed for years due in part to the need to translate filings into the Telugu language. The government's submission presumes that a non-native English reader would be able to identify all the information that was stolen and provided to the government. Even if Mr. M did possess such information, the undersigned would be unable to obtain it because Mr. M is no longer in BOP custody. According to filings in Mr. M's case, or around January 23rd, 2026, Mr. M was moved from the MCC to a U.S. Marshal contracted facility. The undersigned is thus unable to locate Mr. M for additional interviews. Thus, an evidentiary hearing is necessary to determine precisely what information the government obtained. Moreover, the government's argument about identifying the government's use of information presumes that Mr. Kelly divine information that is known only to the government. The government's assertion that Mr. Kelly waived a structural error argument in unsupportable. Waiver is the intentional relinquishment of a known right. And waiver principles should be construed literally in favor of the defendant. United States versus James. Here, there was no intentional relinquishment of a structural error argument. An evidentiary hearing is necessary to determine precisely what documents and information the government obtained. In this context, the information is necessary to structure a thoroughly developed structural error argument. That information is known only to the government. Contrary to the government's assertion, an evidentiary hearing is highly likely to reveal information confirming Mr. Kelly's claim of constitutional violation. Even assuming Arguedo, the harmless error is the proper analyst. An evidentiary hearing is necessary. A determinant of this issue requires more facts, and therefore an evidentiary hearing is appropriate. Respectfully, attorney for the defendant, Bo Brindley. So basically, they're saying they're still fighting the fact that, arguing the fact that it is necessary for evidentiary hearing, because without that hearing, he's not going to be able to determine what information the informant, Mr. M, stole from RKelly and gave to the government. So they're saying we have to have this evidentiary hearing. So I guess it remains to be seen. We'll continue to follow to see if they're going to fold. The government is going to fold and say, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and we will have this evidentiary hearing. But right now, the government is asking that the courts deny his request. So I just feel like everything RKelly does, every request he makes, whatever he submits, it's denied. But I mean, you can't blame a person for continuing to fight for his life and try to get some kind of relief from the sentence that he got. So, I mean, he continues to fight, and the lawyers are steady submitting and filing, but the courts keep denying him, denied. So just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Thank you, Harlem, again for supplying that information. Did you see the footage they put out? Hey, Bridget. Okay, so now let's get to Karmelo. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I looked at this footage, and again, I have to go back to what Harlem was saying. Like, you released the footage, you released all this information on Juneteenth. Just on Juneteenth today. Wonder why they didn't release it prior to today. I mean, why today? Because you've been having it. I mean, he's already sentenced. Why are we just now getting it? So I want to take a look at the videos as best we can. I hate that, like, we can't clearly see under the tent, of course, but we do get to hear Karmelo. We hear people in the background. There was one that I was sent, and I hope that we get to hear that, where it says that Austin Metcalf was trying to force Karmelo Anthony out of the tent. So let me pull it up and we'll take a look, and then we can talk about it. We're also going to get into the interview that Charleston White had, because I have mixed emotions about that interview. So I'm really wanting to know what you guys are thinking about that interview. So anyway, let's get the video up so we can so we can see it. Where did I do? There it is. All right, so let me pull it up. Okay. So it says, body cam footage shows an emotional Karmelo Anthony stating he put his hands on me. I told him not to put his hands on me. Yeah, this is sad. They strategically released it on Juneteenth. Somebody else said that in Harlem. Released the 11-minute video. Release Karmelo Anthony, period. All right, here we go. Let's share it. So I wanted to pull up yours that I got. I think this is just, let's just see which one this is.
I told him not to put his hands on me. Oh, look here. How long? I know I'm not.
Harlem, can you give me the disclosure or a disclaimer, please?
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Go here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. There's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then come to the victim from there. This is the alleged suspect. Okay. What they got? So nothing on your person at all. Nothing. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing stabbing? Okay. A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure. Okay. the victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. Victim, over on the north end. They got staffed in.
That was the shorter one. Let me see if I can get the other one that we can see all of it. It's just disturbing. And I can't imagine what his mom, I just can't imagine his mom having to see that. Let me pull up the other one. Okay, let me see. This one. Hold on. I think you're going to have to email it. I can't get it off of Instagram. It's not letting me. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Nope. Okay. Yes, it did. I might have it. Can you put the disclosure up for me so I can grab it, pretty please, Harlem? Okay, let me see if we got it now. Here we go. Okay, here is the actual surveillance from, she says, here is the actual surveillance from moments before Austin Metcalf placed his hands on Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo defended himself. She says she was in the courtroom. They played us a much more grainier and blurrier video of something, of the same thing. This appears to be the more clear version played for the jury when they turned off the TVs to the public gallery. So let's take a look at this one. See if you can, okay, let me see. Oops, I didn't even put that up there. Share screen. Share screen. Oh, shoot. I'm planning it and then put it up there. Let me go back. So this don't really have sound. It's just showing us, and they kind of highlighted Karmelo Anthony when he came up out of the tent. Did you see the boy behind him running all the way and pointing at him? Let's play it again. Can y'all see it okay? So we're going right here. That just basically shows when he is this different. The link you just put there, Harlem. That just basically shows when the incident happened. This is the one I wish we could have clearly seen under the tent to see like what happened. This is the time where I wish they would have gotten Eddie's phone so that we could have actually seen what happened. You think this one is altered? So then we have one more to share that shares the 911 call. And you can hear the, let me see if we can get that one. So Harlem, you think this one right here that we just showed is altered? What makes you think that? Let me get the other one real quick while she's doing that. So this one. Share. The stadium video. So she says the stadium video is the video I seen today, which is this one right here. The last link I put is news. So the one you just put is the news. Let me see if I can copy and paste it. Ew. Okay. So let me stop sharing that one. And then we'll try to do this other one. This one right here. She said it shows him coming to the bleachers and then him back out. Oh, so this one didn't show that. So I wonder, does his that we're going to show? Let's share it. This is the one that I listen to. Shout out to Ticket TV. I hope they don't get us. So.
Subscribe as you guys come on
in. All right. Any weapons on you like that? I'll look here.
So he's not trying to run. He's not trying to evade arrest. None of these.
Harlem, I don't know which one. Just could you? The YouTube is Fox Dallas. Okay, yeah, I want that one because he's gonna keep interrupting us. But it's a good one. Ticket TV is good. That's a good one too, and it shows us a lot. And this one is where we hear somebody in the background saying that Austin Metcalf tried to force him out of the tent. You can hear it clearly. And I'm wondering, did they hear that in court, or was that something that was altered as well? So the YouTube one. Did you send it to me outside of this live? Did you send it? Let me see. I don't see. Oh, okay, I got it. All right, let's get this out. Sorry, y'all. Got it. I got it. So let's share it now. I got the channel 4. There's Austin. That's Karmelo. So I guess that's where he's going to the tent. You can kind of see movement over here. Oh, there he is. Where is he? Oh, there you go. You don't know what to do. Okay. So that must be with him with the coach now. Anyway, yeah, let's see if we can get the police body cam. On the police body cam, you heard him ask. Oops. On the police body cam, wait a minute. The injury had to see more. On the police body cam, you heard him ask if he was okay, yes, and you heard him say he touched him first. Yeah. So basically, we can't hear anything here, but when you do get so that, and that's important, right? So what Harlem is saying, I'm just gonna stop sharing because we can't hear. We can only see what has happened, but huh? I don't want nothing from there. Okay. Anyway, so on your IG, the video right over the one. Okay, let me look again. Right over the one police body cam.
If somebody is tripping, they over there. Don't reach for anything, all right, man?
Oh.
Stop right there for me.
This one.
Dispatch 443. I got the second.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just do that one. The New York Post posted it on the YouTube channel. Yes, I saw that, but I wasn't sure if that was it or not. Y'all bear with me. I'm getting there. We getting there. So let me get it there. Let me go share it. This is the one from the New York Post where we can hear the conversation. And then we need to talk about it because these are important. These are important. And I'm not understanding why or if the jury even saw these at all. So let me get that pulled up. All right, we're going to get there. Thank y'all for being here. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We are at 10.5K. We are almost at 11K subscribers. We need you guys joining in, conversating with us so we can continue to build the channel. So let me see. Let's get this one off. Take that one off. Let me go back to the inbox. I think this is it.
Hold on.
And I'm just protecting myself.
Where do you want me? If somebody is shooting the victim, they need to be over there.
Under a memorial tent.
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects. And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Go ahead. Oh, look here.
How long? He put his hands up. I know I'm not.
4-4, copy, I'll be in route.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here.
447, clear.
I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspects detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance.
Wait a minute, Harlem. He said I got the alleged suspect. And Karmelo didn't say nothing just now, but they're saying that he said when he said I got the alleged suspect, he said it's not alleged. I did do it. I didn't hear him just say that. He said I got the alleged suspect. The medics can come in now. So at what point did he say it's not alleged? I did do it. Like Karmelo didn't say nothing at that point. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, I won't stop it no more. I just wanted to point that out.
East entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then you come to the victim from there. This is the alleged suspect. All right. Okay. We'll figure that out. So nothing on your person at all?
No, sir.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Stab me?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to be out with this.
I'm gonna get a little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
My car's right there.
Okay.
You want me to get up now?
All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics.
I think he was analyzing.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is going to be on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already? No. We searched them. Got nothing
I
on
don't know what happened.
423. Checkers have negative CPR progress for a little bit. Freezing. You have the wrong thing. Freezing.
Oh, man, sorry, over here. Go side. Up to you. It's up to you.
That's fine. This is closer.
Okay. Let me do one more little check of you, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't mind if I reach in your pockets, anything like that? You good?
We are just wearing this one pair of pants?
No, man. I'm wearing some little underwear.
Well, yeah. But it's not
Like,
pockets, it's
no,
around
ma'am, I
pockets.
don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
430, you show me out. Freezing.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay?
Yes,
All right.
402, I'm on scene.
So your first name is Karmelo?
Yes, sir. Karmelo.
Let's see, hold on one second.
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A.
K-A-R.
K-A-R-M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O.
Carmelo, what's your last name? A-N-T-H. O-N-Y. Where are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
10th grade? You go to Emerson?
No, sir.
Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
All right, so there you have it. So now we can talk about it because I don't know what they showed in court, but I'm just kind of confused as to why this was, well, like they said, it was already made up what they were going to do anyway. Let me look at the chat before we get into this. Where we at? Oh, that is real pain. Crying, he put his hands on me. Yeah. And not only was he crying, but they didn't play it in the courtroom. Cooperative, not resisting. Hey, APZ, welcome. Thank you for being here. Happy Friday. All right, so yeah, all the things. He could have had a chance to run off and leave. He did not do that. He even asked at one point, is he going to be all right? Is he going to be all right? He was crying. I asked him not to put his hands on me. He put his hands on me. Somebody made a really good comment that, we've been watching this ever since the trial. And somebody said that if the big thing about this is that they didn't hear from Karmelo Anthony about why he had the knife, and it was as simple as his lawyer could have even said this. He had the knife. It's a knife that has all kind of tools on it. We use it for camping. Did not realize it was even in my bag. And that would have been an explanation, but because they didn't get an explanation of why he brought a knife with him to school or to the track meet, that's what they're side-eyeing. But it's more to it than that. You have so much evidence that clearly states that at the very least, at the very most that he should have gotten was manslaughter. He's telling you that he put his hands on me. I was protecting myself. Clearly, he did not come there to intentionally unalive somebody. So he acted off of instinct. At the moment, what was going on, maybe, and we don't get to see this, but maybe there was not a whole gang of people jumping on him, but there were about 4 or 5 boys coming at him, namely Austin and Hunter, which is why they said they refrained from putting Hunter on the stand for the simple fact is in an interview, Hunter pretty much said him and his brother, like they went at him to get him out. So he kind of, in an interview, admitted that he was part of going at Karmelo to get him out of the tent. So there is, at the very most, this is a manslaughter. This is a manslaughter case. Every piece of evidence, every movement, everything points to manslaughter. These boys got on the stand and they lied. They pure lied. They said they didn't even know him. They said, you heard that on the 911 call. Like, listening and preparing for my husband's birthday party tomorrow. Okay, happy birthday, APC's husband. Doesn't I ask him not to put his hands on me, do it and see what happens. Contradicts it. And that's what he's saying under on the body cam footage, right? What was said under that tent? That's what we need. We need the information under that tent. Eddie recorded it. You can't tell me that there were not students that recorded what happened and probably was advised to not say you have it recorded. If you got it, delete it, whatever, so that nobody can find it, right? I believe my whole heart that Eddie recorded everything that happened. Eddie was the one that egged it on. Eddie had everything to do with egging this on and bringing him in that tent, didn't stand up for him, acted like he didn't know him. Reasonable doubt. This is sad. This is very sad. I said it before, I'll say it again. I wonder if Eddie set him up. I mean, right, as I listen to people, as I listen to interviews of people that were like at the courthouse and giving their interviews with different people, everybody's on that page. They feel like Eddie set him up. They said because the crazy thing about it is that Karmelo Anthony was in that tent 2 days earlier or 2 weeks earlier. And the difference about that day and the day this happened is that the Metcalf boys weren't there because they were suspended from school. So they couldn't be there. And there was no issue with him being under that same tent. Or at the very least, was so scared of the Metcalf boys, he folded due to peer pressure. It's alleged that they don't even know each other. No teen with huge capacity with huge capacity phones faked record. They recorded it somehow, some way. It was recorded on somebody's phone. That is what they do. That's what they do. Everything in this world is happening now. It's recorded somewhere. And if any of all those children under that tent had a phone, somebody recorded what happened, because I need to know when Metcalf walked into that tent, what happened. I need to know when they went towards Karmelo Anthony, what happened, what was said. So for me, he's saying, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. So let me make sure I'm understanding, Harlem. What you're saying is that what we found out is that Eddie was tight with Austin, because Eddie's the same boy that went out with Karmelo Anthony and his girlfriend on double dates. That was saying that he didn't know him, but he really knew him because he saw too many pictures of them together. But he was tight friends with Austin. I don't know. It feels like Eddie had a lot to do with what went down, and then never came to aid him, never protected him, didn't get on the stand, got on the stand and went totally against him. There is a video in somebody's phone that the defense slacked on getting the evidence, getting all the evidence. They said that every child under that tent could have been called to testify. Why didn't they come and be tested? Why didn't they testify? So again, I say, they keep jumping. Hey, Bad Bunny. Welcome. Harlem said, I said before, he was hanging with Karmelo as a favor to the girlfriend. Now it feels like it, Harlem. It really feels like that now. That was Eddie's cousin. I don't think it was a genuine friendship. No, not now that we're finding out that he's considered Austin his brother. He was just hanging out with him just because. And everything that was going on, he went back and told Austin. That's why Austin did not like Karmelo, because it had never been a problem for Karmelo to be under that tent before. And all of a sudden, it's a problem for him to be under that tent in the pouring rain. There are pictures of them together on social media, played video games together. I was younger once. I never played video games at someone's home I didn't like. Right. Pictures with his grandma. I just don't get it. Yeah, they're totally different. I have to agree. Everything's different about when we was growing up compared to these kids these days. Totally night and day. Totally night and day. Okay, sorry, y'all. That was my grandson. So anyway, again, I mean, we're going to always come to the same conclusion. We're going to come to the conclusion that there was his defense did not fight for him. His defense did not go about the right way of getting evidence and witnesses on his point, because whenever you plead, whenever you're pleading self-defense, then the burden is on you to prove how it's self-defense. And the defense failed him immensely, because it could have been proven. Easily could have been proven. It seems like they don't consider his age, him making a bad mistake or decision, him being a good kid normally, him being provoked or bullied. They charged him like everything was premeditated. And that's why he got 35 years. And he should have never been sentenced to 35 years. Okay, listen, I don't want to sway from the fact that a child's life was taken. Yes, that's horrific. A life was taken. But what are the circumstances? What are the circumstances of why this entire situation happened? Yeah, they'll say it was easier for him just to get up and go. He wasn't bothering anybody. You have to keep your hands to yourself. You're not the boss of that tent. You can't tell people where to sit in a stadium. There are not assigned seats in the stadium. You can't tell him where to sit, and you can't force him to leave. You're 17, he's 17. You can't tell him what to do. And I'll say it again. What should have happened or could have happened is that you go get an adult to handle it. But you want to be a bully and put your hands on somebody, and now the whole world is calling you a horrific murderer. Like he is this. And right, back to your point, APZ, anytime they have trials like this, they do look back. Like they'll go back and they'll look at, when it comes to sentencing, they'll look at what his past looks like. What does his home life look like? What does school look like? Did he ever get into any run-ins with the police? They never considered any of that. Because like I said, they came into that. They came into that court knowing how they were going to decide his fate. They knew what they were going to do. He never had a chance. He never had a fair chance, because he never should have had it in Collin County. It should have been moved. And I stand on that. You don't step to him. You're alive. Plain and simple. Just go tell somebody he ain't cooperating. He shouldn't be here. Come make him move. Come ask him to move. It would have been easier for an adult to come say, "Hey man, they don't want you under the tent. Let's find somewhere else to go. Hang out." None of this would have happened. The video, you see him running, going back, walking, going to the coach. He was all confused. That was not intentional, right? He didn't know where to go. His first mind after it happened was, I had to fight my way out of here, out of this tent. So now what do I do? So he just takes off running. He stops, he goes, he comes back, he gets with the coach. He was like, I don't know what just happened, but whatever happened is not good and I need help. Somebody help me. Like, that's another bullet point that you can say, this is not an intentional premeditated murder. He happened to react off of instinct. His instinct was to, if he put his hands on me, I can just imagine him saying to himself, he better not put his hands on me. They're already 2 times bigger than I am. He already got a twin, so I'm not finna let both of them jump on me because I'm sitting here respectfully. Come on. Excuse me. Why did you cut your hair? Was it egregious? So why did Karmelo cut his hair? So when he went in, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but I know whenever you go in prison, like if you have locks, long hair, braids, or whatever, they make you take the braids out or whatever, and you go and you get a haircut. And they said nowadays they don't make you cut your hair, but all of a sudden they made Karmelo cut his hair all off to bald. Everything about this situation from the beginning to the end, from the beginning of trial to the end of trial, to him quickly getting moved from holding to all the way already in prison, all of this that's what was premeditated. Okay. So I want to talk about Charleston White's interview. So here's my understanding, and you guys can help me where I'm getting off track or agree with me or whatever, okay? Charleston White in this interview said, so Charleston, so I don't know how y'all felt about the interview. For those who saw the entire interview with Charleston White and Terrace, that's who I saw him on. He has been doing several interviews, but he flew out to do a sit down with Terrace, and so Charleston White is saying that, when this first happened, he kind of took sides with the Anthonys. He got really close to Karmelo, and he was kind of trying to advise them or whatever. He said he spent a lot of money on them, that whenever they started getting the death threats that they were getting and being harassed, he even put himself in the line of fire, and so that people could harass him. He said that he even allowed, Karmelo had a car, a red Jeep, and they kind of took the red Jeep, and he allowed his son to drive it, and his son ended up being ran off the road in this Jeep. So he kind of put his son in the line of fire as well. And he said he was all in tune to the Anthony family until like his dad started acting soft, and his dad started like being about money, and basically like where's the money going to go? Who's going to hold the money? All these things. So from the beginning, he said that Charleston White was saying that he and Karmelo got really close relationship. They were texting each other. He'd go see him. He gave him books to read. Karmelo would read those books day in and day. I mean, he would complete the books. So whatever book he gave him, he read him. He's a smart child. He's brilliant. He's a little timid. He's not a street person. All these great things about this child. And then to ultimately say, I don't F with y'all no more because of the daddy. But you said that you cared about Karmelo Anthony. You really cared about this young man, and that you would do anything to help him. And because you feel a way about his dad, you pull everything out. You pull back, and even the celebrities that you claim that were going to put up money and fund for appeal and put all this money towards attorneys for an appeal, because you're saying because you backed out, now all them backed out. And then you want to say that you took up with the Metcalfs and that Karmelo is dead wrong for unaliving this boy. He's a pure murder. He murdered boy. People went after Goofy White because he is playing both sides. You are on one side or the other, not both. You are on both sides so you can make money. So at the end of this is what my determination was. I was like, for Charleston White, when I listened to all of that interview, to me, you're saying the dad was about money, but this was all about money for you, even down to the t-shirts that were made with Watermelon Felon, because he said the white people will buy it and he's not going to give them a dime off the money. He's not going to support them anyway. Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, has the right to feel like he feels. He has the right to say the things that he is saying because he's hurt. He's lost his child. Like, I'm confused, Charleston White. I'm really confused as how you turn that off and on. How are you playing both sides of the coin? Like, I'm like, right, it's either or. And to say that you don't support Karmelo because of his dad, like, I feel like that don't even make sense, because this ain't about his dad. This ain't about helping his dad. This is about helping Karmelo get a fair trial, get an appeal to get a fair trial is what this is about. This has nothing to do with his dad. So I think that was a poor excuse for you to have, instead of just saying, I'm flip-flopping. I might support them today, I might support them tomorrow, because that's basically throughout this interview that's what I heard. You tell me that, you tell us that Karmelo took the knife to school because he was being bullied. You know that for a fact that he took the knife to school because he had been being bullied. Why didn't we know that? Karmelo's story made more sense. He said Karmelo's story in the beginning made more sense to him. What Karmelo was saying was what he believed, because that made sense to him. And all of a sudden, none of it makes sense to you now. What Metcalf is saying makes sense to you now. And then he also said, what also I felt like was the easy way out, is he said what really made him upset and really say, this is not who I'm going to support, is because during the press conference, he let his wife do all the speaking. Have you ever thought maybe she wanted to do the speaking because she needed to get that off and she needed to let people know how she felt? So that's a reason not to support Karmelo, and to tell all the people that was going to support him that you ain't supporting him, and then they back out? That doesn't make sense. If maybe she needed to do that press conference. Maybe she needed to do that press conference. He also said that what he doesn't like is he doesn't like when you start saying Ben Crump, he called Jasmine Crockett, Freddie Haynes, all those people he do not like. So whenever you start saying those names and and bringing me those names, that automatically is a turnoff because all they are is about money. But I'm sitting here wondering and thinking, like, is it them that's just about money, or is it you that's really about money? Because that's how it's feeling to me. It does not make no sense. If Ben Crump comes to support him, what that got to do with you? Let as many people that's going to support this young man come and support this young man. And if you really had intentions on giving him $75,000, he even said his mom was like, son, you've been supporting the Anthonys all this time. You've been supporting them. How can you just walk away from them? And said his mom was upset. Even his mama told him that just didn't make sense. You've been supporting him, and now you just saying supporting him. And it's because Ben Crump now, the community activists, all of them, he said F all of them because they're only about money. Like, I don't give a dang. They're coming to support the support that was not there before. He's getting it now, and you mad about that? And so you back off and take the $75,000 back because of that? Doesn't make sense. Let's go to chat real quick. Taking the easy way out. Exactly how I feel. So APZ says, with Texas being a state that stand on protecting yourself and your home and things, they definitely are mad that the kid that was unalived, unfortunately, was white. It's a race war because the other way around. Rice says the woman usually speaks the most, kidnapping cases, etc. Yeah, you usually see the mother speaking. You usually see the mother speaking. So why does that bother you though? Why did it bother you to the point that you backing off? You don't support him no more. You don't like the daddy. He went on to say, like, the family is not from Texas. No, they're from Louisiana. They've been there a few years. But anyway, they're not from Texas, don't know anybody. And he's saying Karmelo has a bigger heart than the daddy got. It's all about, what is this about the daddy? You can't tell me it's because he don't want to be a M word. He don't want to be in a street thug. He don't want to do this. He ain't willing to unalive somebody. So you backing off. That just don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And that's how they would have gotten the other kid off. They would have used all those stand your ground laws to get him off. Exactly. Right. He's just a clown. Like, I don't understand. None of it makes sense. Reservation isn't a sign of weakness. No, listen, those folks expect you. They expect people of color to come out and act a fool and be street and be ghetto, but they were very reserved because they had never been in this type of situation before. And so they didn't know what to expect. They were listening to people that they thought was giving them good advice that wasn't. Charleston White. They were listening to people saying, don't get a black lawyer, and should have gotten a black lawyer. They should have also, the defense should have said, we want to have this trial. We definitely want to do it, but we don't want to do it in Collin County. It should have never taken place in Collin County. He also went on to say, so he said he has a great heart. He's a pure kid. He's kind. He's smart. He's intelligent, but he's fragile. Yeah. And he has never dealt with the police ever before. And now he's got to do 35 years. So they were asking him, do you think that he should go into protective custody? And he was like, he didn't think he should go into protective custody. But he said Karmelo Anthony will not be touched in prison because of the Aryan brother, or who did he say? Because of the Black Panthers, I believe, the New Day Blacks, because of somebody that he knows, and he knows them all because he was locked up when they were all younger. So he's made preparation that Anthony will not be touched in prison unless it's like from a guard or somebody. Anyway, he said that he also, but he did was kind of making some sense when he said, there are a 1/3 of kids go from school to prison. Instead of like graduating, going on to college or whatever, they go from school to prison for committing such heinous crimes. He said that, he made me feel like in his interview that he was okay with Karmelo getting 35 years. But then he said, but I think he then said that he wasn't okay with it. He said what he also didn't like about the dad is he didn't like the fact that the dad always wanted to play victim. You're not a victim. I can't stand a black man that always want to cry victim. Well, in this case, if I'm being honest, they are victims as well. Yes, Austin lost his life, but they are also being victimized because of the fact that they're having death threats, having to move 2 and 3 times because they're getting death threats, and they're being doxxed and their address being put out there. And he's trying his best, the father, to keep his family safe. He has a daughter to protect. He has other kids to protect. And so what do we mean? He always seemed like the victim. Poor me, woe is me. He's going to have that emotion. That's going to be part of his emotions. Why us? Like, why do we have to go through this? Yeah, you'll go through all types of emotions, but why back off? Why not support him? I'm still looking for the good reason not to support these people in this interview. He said that they couldn't get the GoFundMe. Only the lawyers could get to the GoFundMe, and people were going to the man's job or whatever. So does anybody know in this chat, did they ever get their hands on any of the money? And then they said that GoFundMe shut down the $600,000 some dollars because they don't support when they don't support convicted felons. He wasn't a convicted felon at the time they were raising the money. So why weren't they able to get the money that was raised for him? I don't get that. Does anybody know in the chat? Because I'm not sure if that happened. But then he goes on and talks about the red Jeep, and he said, give it to him. He'll take over the payments. Let him come at him. Let him be the focus. And then he said he also offered for them to go stay in one of his houses in Dallas that nobody knew about. Like, I think that's a kind gesture. Okay, that's kind. But you offered all this. You gave them all this money. You supported them to the nines, and then you backed out. Still no good reason for me to see that he shouldn't support these people. They said they had to put the black judge that was voted in hiding because of this. He said he went and attacked Sarah Fields, and I think Sarah Fields is one of the ladies that Nick at Night was talking about as well. I think this is the woman. But if y'all go on her Facebook page, you'll see her talking about it. But this is the woman. Anyway, he said he had been texting with Karmelo back and forth. He read every book that he gave him. He told him to have faith that God got him. But he said he lied to him because he saw when it was an all-white jury that he was not going to win. But he was trying to keep Karmelo uplifted and say he had the faith. But he lied to him the whole time because his faith was gone when he saw the jury. He didn't believe that he was going to get a fair trial, and he didn't believe that even God could get him out of it. He's very upset with like black people because he said, where was y'all a year ago when I was doing all these things for Karmelo? Why are y'all just now showing up right now after he gets convicted? Like he's mad at the black race. This is for the black race. Why are you showing up now? Like you should have been here. Why did you not come when this first happened? When we're talking, and he said the reason y'all didn't come is because you thought it was a black on black crime. So you just kind of drove past it. He said, but then now everybody want to come out the woodwork and support him. So at least they coming now. At least maybe he can get a fair trial and get an appeal. You know, let people support that wants to support, that's going to support him. She said, well, did you know Metcalf had a GoFundMe for $1 million? So where's that $1 million? Did he get his hands on that money? Where's the $1 million? Did not know that. He said that he kept, that the dad kept, where is the $1 million? He said that the Charleston was saying that the dad kept saying, man, this is a good lawyer. This is a good lawyer. He's Yellow Beezy's attorney. Like, he was like, you have no, he said he told them that this was not a good attorney for him and that they should, you know, look at other attorneys. He's mad at Black attorneys that's stepping up saying, hey, I'll take, you know, I'll take this case or I'll help in this case. Now he's saying, why y'all coming now? What did you show up for now? Like, why do you care? Just worry about if you're going to support him, if you're going to give them $75,000, give them the $75,000. Go lock in an attorney, a great attorney for him. Plenty of people were around a year ago. Where were you a year ago? Nowhere. I remember this time very well. He wasn't saying anything. Grifter, sit down. Shut up. Like, I'm like, so like, right when I heard that, I'm like, okay, a year ago, like who was supporting him? Because he did have supporting people. There were Black people that supported him out of Dallas that was supporting him. So don't say nobody showed up for him a year ago. But that's what he said. He said a year ago, where was y'all at? He said, nobody, it was me. Y'all wasn't listening to me. Y'all thought this was Black on Black and y'all just went on about y'all's business. And now you want to show up out the blue? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know, Charleston. He said that he knew that, let me go back up here. He said, the whole video, he saw the whole video. He saw the whole video and there were plenty of kids under there and he wanted to know why did not one child intervene for Karmelo Anthony. That made sense. Said the Metcalfs were suspended. 4 football players approached him. Karmelo never stood up. He was the new kid around, he didn't have a lot of friends. He wasn't threatening or anything like that. This was negligence. And yeah. So I agree with that. He said he could have said anything because this kid has epilepsy. So he was protecting. He said the defense could have said, listen, he knows that if he gets hit the right way in the head, he could have a seizure. He was trying to prevent all of that. So he was protecting himself. And the defense never said, object. I object to nothing. He didn't object to nothing. You're right about that, Charleston. We'll give you that. He said he had always told them they needed to change counties. I'm saying that too. Told them not to. Left son. He said that he's also pissed at the father because the father left him hanging at sentencing. So now I don't think that the father was not there for sentencing. I think he was on the other side of the door. They're saying that he was not in the building when his son was sentenced. But I don't think that's right. He said that he raised $1 million. He raised $1 million. He got $150,000 off the top to appeal for the lawyers, but he's not going to help him. He said he reached out to a pastor, so that they could go meet an attorney to pay the attorney the money. But I'm wondering why hasn't an attorney been secured for this appeal? They said the appeal has already been made. Why hasn't an attorney already been secured? They're saying that a public defender has been secured for his appeal, but I'm just not sure if that's right either. all this information. I just don't know. But anyway, he said show in Cleveland. He had a show in Cleveland. He was going to donate $250,000 to $500,000. And when he brought up Ben Crump, it was over for him. So he raised all this money, but because Ben Crump's name came up, he was done. He said he kept telling Karmelo Anthony's dad, like, we ain't getting ready to make this about race. Do not make this about race. Yeah, I can't even read my writing. But he said he was saying, but I mean, even a blind man can see that this is what this was all about. This was all about a black man, a black young teenager, unalived, a white young teenager. And immediately it became racist. Immediately, Karmelo became the horrible black guy that brought a knife to school. So how can we ignore the fact that it is about racism? You can't ignore that. It's plain sight. You can see that's what it is. That's what this is about. Because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have got 35 years, period. He wouldn't have got 35 years. So how can we say ignore what is really happening around us? And that is, this has all been about race. A white boy was unalived by a black boy, and we ain't having it, especially in Collin County. Dude is weird. What's wrong with being Crump? Nothing. He's visible, but obviously doing the right thing and fighting for those that clearly have been wrong. Again, I ask, what side are you on? I feel like he has pulled out. He's no longer going to support. Yeah, he's struggling with what side he want to be on, where the most money gonna be. And I feel like because he kept saying that Ben Crump and them are only come around for the money. And if you're Charleston White and you're there for the money too, that might be a little bit of competition for you. So that's why you don't like them. I don't know. I can't figure Charleston White out. I can't figure him out. Separated from Charleston, need to move. We will help you move. Oh, he was saying that when they came up with all this money, the dad was like, well, who's going to hold the money? Like, where's the money going to go? He was like, I'm going to hold the money. I'm going to disperse the money to where the money needs to be. So I don't know. I feel like I'm side-eyeing Charleston White for the simple fact that you said that you would just this point that you said that you would put up $75,000 to help him. I'm going to give him $75,000. If you're going to give somebody something, you would do it. And then how do you get to tell them how to handle it? If once you give it to them, it's theirs. And I'm quite sure that mom and dad knows that their son needs a whole team of lawyers and experts. They need somebody that's going to pull the experts. They need somebody that's going to overturn this sentencing. And they need somebody that can get them out of Collin County. There's a lot that they need, and it's going to take a lot of money. So either you're in or you're out. Either you're with it or you're not. And at the end of the day, it felt like for me, Charleston White is like, I'm not going to support Karmelo Anthony. He said, so what I have to do to get my feelings out of it is I have to basically go with the watermelon felon thing so I can not see him and put the watermelon on Karmelo's face. And so I can get out of my feelings. Like this, none of that makes sense. He wants to figure out how he can get his feelings, how he can shut his feelings off for Karmelo, how he cares about this young man, how he knows this is a really good boy. He's never been in trouble. He has good grades. He's never been to jail. He has a 2-parent home. The Metcalfs didn't have a 2-parent home. Like, I mean, a lot of that matters and how you act. And how Jeff is acting, then no wonder his boys act like that. Like it was all the signs against Carmelo Anthony going into this. So he never had a chance. Yeah, so anyway, I think it's fair to say that Charleston White is out. He's not going to support him. He's going to walk away, and whatever happens, happens. But do I believe, or do we think that there are people out there still supporting him? Now, I don't know how true it is. It could be an AI generated thing. I just kind of breezed past it, but it showed that 50 Cent came out and said that he is going to put up the money to get him a lawyer until he wins this appeal. It could be an AI generated. I couldn't tell, and I haven't heard anything else about that. But I don't know. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Karmelo is sitting in prison, sentenced the wrong way. He's under a sentence. He was charged with murder with M1. And that's for people that intentionally go out and premeditate and have a plan to take somebody out. And that wasn't him. That wasn't him. That's not what he did. And they know it. I'm with you. That man ain't right. He's full of it. He's full of it. If you want to go, go. If you want to go, Charleston, just go. And let the people that's going to help him really come and help him. Watch the wrong person come out for Karmelo. He'll come back and say, I was here first. It's all about them when it should be all about the defendant. It should all be about helping this young man get what he deserves. And that is a fair trial. A fair trial. The judge came out and was like, we can deny anybody we want to. So what if so what if the 3 black people were denied to be jurors? So what? We can do what we want to do. Pretty much is what he said. This whole thing has been crazy. I'm praying for Karmelo, and I pray God takes care of this young man. Yeah, I am. Like, listen, we know that none of us, if you've never experienced losing a child, this way, to be unalived and you have to get that phone call. No one's discounting that. By no means. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. But we also have a family that if we were doing things lawfully in the right way and looking at all of the evidence and doing things like really lawfully, because this judge said he did everything by the books. He followed everything to a T, but he was also doubting himself. He should have let the cameras in. But you should have let cameras in, but people would see things that was going on that should not have been going on in the courtroom. And that's why he didn't do it. So, I mean, that's all we can do right now is pray for Karmelo and hope for the best for him. So you're saying he has to do 17 and a half years. 17 and a half years before he could even become eligible for parole. 17 and a half years. By that time, he should be going on with his life, married, kids, and everything. Like they'll say that Karmelo stole that from Austin, but you're never saying why this happened. You're leaving out the why. And you're putting your own narrative in it. You're spinning your own narrative. Because at the end of the day, everybody under that tent that you put on the stand, all lied. All changed their stories. So who's telling the truth? Where's the truth factor? And the truth factor is not there. Because they all lied. It's known with edge weapon attacks, there are multiple wounds. Yes, and fairly deep. not a shingle shallow wound. That's why we always say they keep moving the goalposts. That is known. It's true. It's true. I was also listening to another podcast, and the guest on there was saying, like, listen, if he went there to intentionally get Austin, to take Austin out, you think he would have just did one and ran? He wouldn't know. He would have made sure, stay there and made sure that Austin was gone, right? But he didn't think, he thought he just kind of punctured him and went on to get out of that situation. And still was concerned, is he going to be all right? Is he okay? I told him not to put his hands on me. All the signs. So, I mean, we can keep, saying the same things over and over. We pretty much knows what it is. But what we'll do is we just have to wait to see what the appeal is going to look like and how they move forward with that. They filed it pretty quick. They filed that appeal pretty quick. Who filed the appeal is my question, because I know they was getting away from the attorney that represented him. So my question is, who filed the appeal for him that quickly? Just a question. I wanted to listen to this attorney really quick, if we can find her.
We have obtained the leaked footage from the Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf incident. Y'all let me know if this was self-defense or not.
How? Can you determine self-defense from that video? Can y'all clearly see it? Like, I can't see it. I can't see good. I can't see the movement good enough. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
We have obtained the leak.
I was trying to see if I could find her speaking. But I can't. Anyway.
If your wig starts lifting.
Did you guys see? I can't find it, but this is Karmelo's grandmother. Listening to what she said, what she has to say. Karmelo Anthony's grandmother declares racism and bias after he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. They can do whatever they want. You can't hear it well. You got to go see it yourself. But anyway, let me see. Not being able to see clearly presents a lot of reasonable doubt. Yeah. Whenever at the point where you said there's a lot of movement, Harlem. So if you kind of zoom in on that, you can see, where he ran out the top of the tent. So focus right there, and you can see where they're face to face, and something happens like that, and that's when Karmelo comes out of the tent. So go back and look at it and kind of zoom and kind of get it bigger, and look right towards it, and you can see the chaos and you can see the movement and you can kind of see how something happens and he comes out. But I mean, you have to clearly be able to see that. And it just wasn't clear enough for me. We have 4K cameras and cell phones and 8K for professional film cameras. And every time there is a questionable incident, it's some grainy, yeah. You couldn't even really, where's the clear video? Like, we need to see it all. You can see the movement. You can definitely see the movement. But if you go up there and he comes out like the top of the tent and takes off running, well, if you look right there at the center of all that before he runs out, just kind of picture him running out and look right there, you can see some back and forth. So you gotta look at that. So anyway, y'all, that's pretty much it. Again, I feel like Charleston White should just go on about his business. I'll just say that. Just go on. We know that you're not supporting him. Just go away and let other people do what they're gonna do. You can't just leave the boy. You're just gonna leave him hanging? All right. So I hope y'all have a good night. We'll be back. Check out my shorts because my shorts are doing amazing. Go check out my shorts. Check us out live. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for being here. Happy Friday night. We'll see you back tomorrow. It's Saturday tomorrow. It's supposed to be raining, so I'll find a lot to talk about. Jay-Z. Jay-Z. They got the masses mad at Jay-Z. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll talk to y'all soon. Good night.